Hey guys, welcome to the Fireball Mullet channel. In today's episode, we're going to follow up from the LSX Concepts install where we installed new pulleys. We installed that new 2650 flex drive kit and also all new front accessory brackets, all from Greg at LSX Concepts. So the moment we've all been waiting for, what to do with the dyno? That's going to be the next question, right? I gave you a little bit of a teaser for some of you that follow me on some of the Instagram and Facebook pages and other interweb areas. You probably saw what the car did and kind of know the story, but for those of you who don't, check it out. We're going to give the numbers at the end of the video, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the outcome. It was definitely some things that I wasn't expecting. I was a little shocked. All right, before we get it on the dyno and I kind of show you everything that's going on there, I kind of, just a little bit of the story there on the pulleys. I tried to keep it as close to the ratio that I had before. Before I had I think a 245 upper and a stock ZL1 diameter lower. And, we came up with about, I think a 275 upper because I wanted more wrap on the upper pulley. So we went ahead and kept it at a little bit bigger because we also were going to change the lower pulley and we can go bigger. So you go lower on the top and bigger on the bottom to get more boost, right? And we ended up doing a combination of, I think, an 895 inch on the lower, 275 on the front, on the upper, and that ended up being about 3% more overdrive than what I had before. So I knew it was going to do a little bit more boost there. Greg also said since I was going to a dedicated blower belt, I was probably going to pick up some boost there as well. So in terms of apples to apples, if you will, I felt like we were going to make more power, but at the same time, since my last dyno, we've done some things with the car, so I wasn't sure how that was going to, and actually they should bring the numbers down. So I didn't know how it was going to net. So the first thing we did was, I had to get rid of that dual 3-inch exhaust. You've seen one of my videos there. I'll post it right up here. That exhaust basically rattled my eye teeth out of my head. I couldn't take it. The drone, I was driving around 1800 RPM. Anyway, that's another story. You've seen the video probably. But I had to take that off. I went to a single 4-inch. Now, normally a 4-inch, you're still going to get very good flow. And so, but I wasn't sure because I ended up using a Varex muffler that I had. And that's basically, it's got an electronic valve in it like the new cars. Pretty expensive muffler that I had. I was running on it when it had a single exhaust before. I put that back on it, but that was 3-inch. So it was a 4-inch exhaust, and then it kind of came down to a 3-inch muffler and then a 4-inch tip, right? I'll probably replace that muffler going down the road, but for now it's so expensive. I was just like, hey, just let it wear out. It is what it is. I might lose a few horsepower, but who cares? So that was the first thing. I didn't know how much that would choke it down. The next thing was I got the S60 rear. Before I had a 9-bolt rear in it. So, you're definitely gonna probably, pick up a little torque, probably less horsepower to the wheels. And I went to a 373 as opposed to, I think it was a 345 or 343, something like that, whatever that Aussie 9-bolt rear is. So I went up in gearing on that. So those two things, and obviously it's a S60, so you're going to get more loss from the powertrain. I was really like, I don't know what it's going to do, honestly. I felt like I didn't really know what the numbers were going to be. Do they all offset and I was going to do the same numbers? It didn't matter really to me, guys. I just really wanted to get it tuned because it was a different boost level and I had to get it tuned. So this tune wasn't to say, oh man, let's make big numbers. This tune was about, although, I was pretty shocked. Let's put it that way. But we'll get to that in a minute. So let's go ahead. Those are the two things that I wanted to mention before we get to the dyno, just to kind of give you a little history. Then the numbers that I did on the previous setup was I did 640 to the wheel on pump gas 93. Now remember, this is an E85 flex fuel. So I put E85 in it, it changes the timing and it changes to the different tune, the different timing tables for E85. So I can basically, you know, go from those two tunes and run completely different tunes there based on the gas and the content sensor. It's picking up the ethanol there. So it did 640 to the wheels on 93 pump before, okay? And then it did 720 to the wheels on E85 before. So those were my two numbers that I was kind of like, that's my baseline, right? So anyway, let's see what we got, guys. Let's get right to it. All right, we're at the dyno here. Let's see what this thing does. Got it all set up here. Got the fans cooling it off from the trip down here. Brett's working his magic. I'm just gonna take a second to say, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, think about it. Do your buddy a favor, subscribe to that channel, hit that little bell so you know when these videos hit. And comment below and hit that like, and I really appreciate it, guys. You know, let's look at the results. We got on 93 pump gas, it went up, and we were both like, wow, this thing went up. I mean, it went up to over 687 horsepower. So it went up about 47 horsepower with this setup, and that's, you know, with the rear and the different exhausts and all that. So who knows, but you know, who cares? On pump gas, 687 is nothing to sneeze about. you know, on a pretty simple street car, right? Now, when, you know, so that was all well and good, and we went ahead at 360 Customs. Thanks, guys, I really appreciate it. And so we went ahead and did the E85 tune, and we started to see it lean out. And the duty cycle on the, I guess the duty cycle on the injectors were in the 75, 76, 77%. I forgot what numbers. It is in the 70s, I think. The fuel pump, I've got a 525 Hellcat pump in it, a single pump right now. It's a -8 AN line, feed line. And so it started running out of fuel on the E85 tune. Obviously, we know E85 takes more fuel. I thought I would be okay because I was thinking, hey, I was okay last time, but apparently it wasn't enough this time. So I don't know what that's telling me, but you know, either the pump got, you know, tired, or I don't know, but I've got plenty of voltage to it. I've got the Racetronics hot wire kit, so it's got a relay back there, and you know, I've got all the voltage I need to it. It's really just, I think the pump just couldn't handle the extra, I guess. So we went ahead and did the dyno there, and I think it was in the low 700s, like 700, 705, I can't remember. I'll show you the dyno sheets now, but that, so, you know, we were trying to get our way up there and just, we couldn't do it. So I went ahead and we're gonna have to figure out a different pump. I'm probably gonna pick up, right now it's got 850 cc's. I'm probably gonna put some thousands in it for injectors, and get a different pump, and also a couple other things. So I'll fill you guys in on what's coming up next here for that. You know, all I can say is they're waiting for me to redo the fuel, figure out that. So I'm gonna do the injectors. I got an idea for the fuel pump, and I already got that in. So I'm gonna share that a little bit more with you guys in the next video. So that's really it. I mean, honestly, the car, I mean, so I can still keep the E85 in it. I just got to short shift it to like 4,500 RPM. That's hard for me to do, so I just ran all the E85 out after I left the dyno, and I've been running 93 pump gas, and that I can just do it for Dale and, you know, send it all day long on the 93. And it feels pretty nasty, so on the pump gas. So I can't wait to what this thing's going to do on E85, get it back to the tuner once I have this fuel thing straightened up. And man, but right now she's driving, I'm enjoying it. You guys have seen some videos with me. I've been really just having fun with the car. It's just a freaking blast, and it just drives and rides like just a dream. I did, and I didn't film a lot of this just because it's such a big project. And filming sometimes makes the project like 3 times as long for me, the way I kind of do the videos here. But I did dual spall vans, and I'll do an overview on all that. And I bought the shroud that's supposed to go with that Champion LS radiator. So that made a complete difference in the way this thing cooled. So I got all my cooling issues done. It's awesome. It'll actually, of course, we're not in August in Florida right now, but I've never had it where it actually, the fans will actually cool it down until the fans stop. And then after a while, the temperature comes back up and they turn back on again. I've never had the fan cycle. They've always been like both 100%. So that's pretty cool, but I don't have the AC charged in it yet, so I got to get that done. I also did a PSC steering box. The first one that I did was just junk that they sent me, and I took it over to a buddy of mine. He swapped out we got another one that was a warranty, and he helped me out while I was at work, and we basically swapped that out, helped me out with the car, put the other one in, and that one is beautiful. I mean, there's no play in the steering at all. So between that and that box is like $1,000. It feels like a new car. I mean, for the type of steering box that we have, you know, there's no rack and pinion or anything like that. It feels amazing. So pretty excited to get the steering good. you know, everything else in the car, the air suspension. I mean, this thing just rides like a brand new freaking hot rod. I mean, I can't even explain it. It's exactly what I wanted out of the car. So anyway, I'm excited. I'm kind of rambling on. That's this video, guys. Thanks, and I really appreciate it.